Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hey, I want to do a quick recap of my last tournament of the 2021 season, the Bassmaster Central Open at Grand Lake. It was about 2 or 3 weeks ago now, and I almost thought about not even doing this video because I did not have a great tournament there. I finished 88th out of like 225 boats, so not a terrible tournament. I caught some fish, but just not a great event. But I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do this video because I feel like, me personally, from a tournament fisherman standpoint, I think I learn more from the tournaments that I don't do well in than the ones that I do well in. So I wanted to put this video together, talk about how I caught my fish at Grand Lake, kind of how the week unfolded, my history on Grand Lake, and that kind of thing. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's get right into it. So my history at Grand Lake, this was the third tournament I've fished there in my career. I've been fishing on the Elite Series for 8 years. I fished a Bassmaster Classic there in the early spring, the one that Edwin Evers won. I fished the Elite Series there that Van Dam won in 2018. I actually made a top 10 then. And Grand Lake is kind of cool. That's actually the place where I caught the biggest bag I've ever weighed in the Elite Series, 26.4 I think it was. In the spring of 2018. That was a pretty neat tournament. Got a lot of good memories on Grand. But I had never been there in the fall, you know, and the fall is different. If we've proved one thing on this channel this year, I think I've proven that the fall is, you can never rule anything out, and it's definitely hard to dial in a pattern. But I had a lot of places that I wanted to check. And my whole plan was to sort of treat it like I did at Smith Lake. I wanted to find the back of a creek or a creek arm or somewhere where I could kind of call home during the tournament. And to be honest, I just never really found that at Grand. I checked the back of Honey Creek. went up in the Elk River, went up the Osho River. Man, I checked several different things. I practiced for four and a half days, I think it was, which is a lot of practice for me. I normally don't practice that much. But that's how much I practiced for this tournament. You know, and put a lot into it, and I felt decent about it. Like I said, I never really found an area. I ended up having to run around, and really the best deal that I got on was fishing boat docks with brush. And there had been a lot of tournaments leading up to, I think there were big tournaments on Grand Lake, like the 4 or 5 weekends leading up to this Bassmaster Open. So I knew those fish were going to be smart. They were going to be pressured. They had seen a lot of baits, because with the way Lowrance side scans come along, everybody's side scan's good now. Everybody, all you had to do is just idle down a row of docks, and you can find the good ones from the bad ones because you can see the brush on your side imaging. It's super easy. So, you know, I kind of knew that the fish were going to be pressured, but that was the best deal I got on. You know, I tried the buzzbait deal. I tried the whopper plopper deal. I never could get it going. So the best bite, the first day of the tournament, I only ended up with 3 keepers. And here's something I kind of want to talk about, and one big lesson that I learned in this deal. Something that I don't think tournament fishermen talk about enough is getting into a good rhythm, getting into a good pace. The first day of the tournament, so the Bassmaster Opens, they go until the last flight wasn't due in that day until 5:50, I think. We left at safe daylight, which was 6:15, 6:30, and I wasn't due in until 5:15. So I had a long day. But all day I felt like I was chasing my tail. I felt like I was rushed all day long. And as tournament fishermen, man, it's when you get in, if you fish many tournaments, you know what I'm talking about. Some tournaments you get out there and the day just unfolds and it flows so smooth. And then some days it's like you're having to force it all day. And that's how I felt that first day. I never could get into a good rhythm. And to be honest, I didn't have that great of a day. Only had 3 keepers that day, like I said, and I was way down the list. So the second day I decided I was just going to go fishing. I had nothing to lose. It was going to be the probably my last tournament day of the year, unless I caught a giant bag. You know, I just went out and had fun, just treated it like another day fishing. And I actually caught some fish that second day. I caught, you know, a limit for 10 pounds or whatever. And like I said, ended up 88th out of 225. So, you know, a little better than a middle of the pack finish, but certainly not what we were looking for. But let's talk about how I caught what I caught. Same jig as what I threw at Smith Lake. That's the Spanker Lures, 1/2 ounce homemade jig. Got a real good mustad hook in it. It's sort of a light wire hook. This is not a jig that you'd want to flip, but it's real good for casting. Comes through brush absolutely great. Comes through brush really well. It's an Arky style head. Got a real good weed guard in it, so it comes through brush, like I said. This color is a color called Pond Scum. It's a real good color, real popular color. It has been for a long time around this part of the country. Brown, it's got some green pumpkin in it, got some orange in it, and it's got a little bit of blue in it. I hope you guys can see that right there, but I was putting the Berkeley Max Scent chunk on the back of it, trimming it down just like I was at Smith Lake. Caught most of my fish on that. Actually weighed in a few, I think 2 the first day and maybe 2 or 3 the second day on a drop shot rig. Now this is not just a traditional drop shot rig. Everybody thinks of a drop shot rig as a real finessey tactic, and that's how it started. But it's taken a lot of spin-offs over the years, and I hope I can teach you guys something right here, because I've caught a lot of big fish and won some money on this rig right here. What I do different with it, I use 10-pound Vicious no fade braid. I use 12-pound Vicious Pro Elite fluorocarbon leader. That's pretty good size leader, but I want something that when I hook a fish in that brush, I'm still using spinning tackle. I want something that I've got enough power to get him out of that brush. 3/16 ounce weight, a 2/0 Mustad grip pin edge finesse hook, and I actually rigged that like a Texas, just like you would a Texas rig. That way I can work, that thing will come through the middle of a treetop. I mean, it's completely weedless. So I'm not nose hooking it, you know, like I would on a more traditional drop shot rig. So that, I catch a lot of big fish on that. I actually caught an 8-pounder in a tournament last fall, Elite Series tournament at Lake Fork off of a boat dock on that exact rig. So I get a lot of bites on it, catch a lot of big fish on it. And also, you guys know I love to throw a buzz bait. I never got dialed into a real good topwater bite, but I did weigh in one fish the first day of the tournament on a, this is actually a True South. I just started trying this buzz bait. I told you guys, I try different buzz baits all the time. It's one of my favorite ways to catch them, but this is a True South Custom Lures Moab buzz bait. And it's a loud son of a gun. It's got a tungsten ball that hangs down right here. Every time the blade spins, it hits that ball. And it's probably one of the loudest buzz baits I've ever heard. It's a really cool buzz bait. Solid black. I was painting the head on it orange just to give it a little bit of contrast. But those are the baits I use. 20-pound fluorocarbon on the buzz bait, Vicious Pro Elite, and 20-pound Vicious Pro Elite fluorocarbon on that 1/2-ounce spanker jig. I had a couple questions. How do you get a hold of Jeff Shelton is the guy's name that owns this company. Not a sponsor, just a good friend of mine that builds a dang good jig. If you want to get a hold of him, get on Facebook, type in Spanker Jigs. He's in the process of growing and possibly getting a website and stuff like that. But get on Facebook, type in Spanker Jigs and shoot him a message on there. He'll get you fixed up. But so that was how that tournament went. What would I do different? And you know, looking back, they always say hindsight's 20/20, and it definitely was on this tournament. What would I do different? So I told you guys, Nick LeBrun ended up winning this tournament on a Whopper Plopper 130, which is what I love to throw. I've made a video about it. I love throwing that bait in the fall, and I had the exact same one that he ended up winning the tournament with tied up all throughout practice. He figured it out, he got dialed in, and I didn't. You know, my hat's off to him, congrats to him. I don't know him, I hadn't met him yet, but he seems like a great guy, and obviously he's a really great angler. So some congrats to him, but I always tell people in fishing, you can be off by this much, and you might as well be off by a mile. He got it dialed in, and I just didn't. He was fishing a lot of the same area of the lake that I was fishing. I just never figured it out. I didn't get dialed in, you know. A lot of times when you're practicing, it takes 2 bites or even maybe 1 bite, and it makes that light bulb go off in your head. The thing about what he was doing, he was locking that bait in his hand the whole entire day, and he won the tournament doing it. And I never got enough bites to be confident in doing that. Felt like I could run around with that dock deal, and it just didn't work out. But it's all good. It is what it is. I put together a little giveaway here for you guys. So at the time of when I'm shooting this video, we lack 8 subscribers being to 1,000. So my channel has almost doubled in the last couple months since I've started putting out videos once or twice a week. And guys, I appreciate that. I really do. I just love to fish. Fishing is fascinating to me. Like I've said on here before, I fish the Bassmaster Elite Series, but guys, I'm just like you. I'm just a fisherman. I just love it. I meet up with it. I always have been, and I'm sure I always will be. It's just a part of me. It's what I do. So I put together a little giveaway here, a little 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I've got 2 of the Spanker jigs, 1/2 ounce. These are brand new in the pack. I've got 3 packs of Mustad, the grip pin edge hooks that I used on the drop shot. I'm gonna send 3 packs of them. I got a Toyota hat right here, and I've got some little Toyota trading cards that are like 9x12. I'm gonna sign a couple of those and send those. And all you gotta do to be entered to win into this is just be subscribed to the channel. I'm just gonna randomly pick somebody, you know, and we'll start doing some bigger giveaways as the channel keeps growing. We'll do some bigger giveaways, especially next year when we start rolling out my new signature series Mustad rods. We'll start doing some giveaways like that. And as the channel keeps growing, we'll keep growing with the giveaways too. I promise you that. But I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you subscribing. Tell your buddies about the channel. And I just love fishing. And I hope y'all do too. Hey, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time, right here, Real Talk in the Shop.